All right, Axis and Allies YouTube brethren, welcome back to the turret in Goldsboro, North Carolina, where we're doing Soviet round 3 turn. Germany just went. Some very interesting tactical moves by Corporal Panda. Looks like he's got a really good plan because I did not see those retreats coming. So, for this Russian turn, for the production phase, Private Joe has decided to produce 4 infantry, 4 artillery, and 2 tanks. And for his combat, Private Joe has decided to bring 3 infantry from Russia into Belarusia, 2 artillery from Karelia into Belarusia. So there'll be 3 Russian infantry and 2 artillery against 2 German infantry. So we'll take that to the board now. All right, so for the actual combat phase of this, we've got 2 infantry and 2 artillery. So that's 4 green hit die going into the cup. And we've got 1 lone infantry at 1 black hit die. Trying for 2 hits. So here's the roll for that attack. And there were no hits. So now the Germans get to fire back with 2 green hit die. 2 green hit die for the Germans in their retaliation. And there were no hits. My goodness. Must be a dense fog on the battlefield today. All right, so here we go. So the Russians get to roll again, 4 green die and 1 black die. 4 black dice. All right, so here's the roll. And there were 2 hits. All right, so the German infantry has been eliminated. Now they get to return fire. One last time, 2 green hit die. And here's that return fire. And 1 hit. All right, so we'll put that back on the board now. All right, so for that battle, Germany goes down 1 IPC to 32, and Russia goes up 1 to 31. That's for the Belarusia. All right, so now the next battle we got is 5 infantry, and 1 artillery from Karelia is going to come down to the Baltic states and take that as a walk-in. So we'll remove that nasty German roundel from there. And we'll move Russia back up 1 IPC to 32 and Germany back down 1 to 31. They just keep flip-flopping positions all the time. The next walk-in is going to be down here in the Ukraine, where we've got 3 infantry and 3 artillery from the Caucasus, and 2 infantry and 2 artillery from eastern Ukraine are going to go into the Ukraine. So that means they'll end up with 5 infantry and 5 artillery. We'll chip those out in a few minutes. Going into the Ukraine. So the Ukraine, I believe, is worth 2. Again, we'll move this German roundel. And take care of my butterfingers here. I'm just knocking everything over. All right, so here we go. All right, so we'll move Russia up 2 more IPCs to 34. And Germany down 2 more to 29. That is for the Ukraine. So the very last battle of the evening is we've got 1 tank coming from the Caucasus, moving 2 spaces through Persia and into India. And then the tank, artillery, and 2 infantry that were in Persia are also going to go into India. So they'll be attacking 1 artillery and 3 infantry from Japan. So we'll take that to the battle board now. All right, so we've got the Battle of India set up. We've got 1 lone infantry from Russia with 1 black hit die, 2 green hit die for the infantry and artillery combined together, combined arms, and 2 more blue die for the 2 Russian tanks. All right, so they'll roll for their attack first. They're looking for 4 hits. And there's the roll, and they got 4 hits. So that will eliminate the Japanese ground units in India. But they do get to fire back, so there'll be 4 green 2 hit die for the Japanese. And here's their return fire. And they did get 2 hits. So that will eliminate 2 infantry units from Russia. So what will be left in India is 2 Russian tanks and 1 artillery. We'll take that to the board. All right, so back to the IPC board for the adjustment for the India battle. We have Japan will now go down from 38 to 35. And the UK will go back up from 25 to 28. So the UK is definitely in debt to the Soviets for reclaiming India for them. So we don't know how long that'll last, but at least for now it's been liberated. All right, so we'll do non-combat next. All right, so for the non-combat moves, Private Joe is going to send 1 infantry from Norway into Finland. He's going to send 1 infantry from Finland into Karelia. He's going to send 1 infantry from Novosibirsk into Qinghai. And he's going to send 3 infantry from the Caucasus down into Persia. All right, so for the place new units phase, we've got 1 infantry and 1 artillery going down into Karelia. In Russia, we have 2 infantry. 2 infantry and 2 artillery going there. In the Caucasus, Private Joe's placing 2 tanks, 1 infantry, and the last artillery. So that is the production for this turn. So for the IPC collection, Russia is on 34, so they'll collect 34 IPCs for this round. They had 1 left over from last round, so that's 35, and then they get a 5 IPC bonus for still possessing Archangel and no other allied powers present in Russia-controlled territory. So that'll do it for the USSR turn round 3. Next up will be the mighty Japan, controlled by L2, and we'll look forward to that move later. So from the turret in Goldsboro, North Carolina, Private Joe and Captain Jack, over and out. All right, so I did it once again. I ended the video without doing the unit recap. So here is the unit recap. So for Russia, there is 1 infantry in Finland. There are 2 infantry and 1 artillery in Karelia. There is 5 infantry and 1 artillery in Baltic states. In Belarusia, there's 2 infantry and 2 artillery. In Russia, there's an industrial complex, an AA gun, 2 infantry, and 2 artillery. In eastern Ukraine, there's 1 infantry. In Ukraine, there's 5 infantry and 5 artillery. In the Caucasus, there's 2 tanks, 1 infantry and 1 artillery, 1 industrial complex, and 1 AA gun. In Persia, there are 3 infantry. In India, there's 2 tanks and 1 artillery. In Qinghai, there are 3 infantry. In the Soviet Far East, there's 1 infantry, and in Buryatia SSR, there are 3 infantry. So that'll do it from the turret in Goldsboro, North Carolina. For Private Joe and Captain Jack, over and out.